am the associate editor at Phoenix Magazine, and I am here today with my best friend, Bentley. I adopted him from the Humane Society in November after a pretty tragic, he's been through a lot. He was in a house fire, and unfortunately his owner passed away, but he survived, and they put him up for adoption. And I am his new mom. So I guess my question for you today is, what kind of documents do you need for assets, I guess, like a dog, if you don't have a trust?
Well, that's a great question, and Bentley's a great dog, and it's a wonderful story too. That's a wonderful story. You know, I have people ask that to me all the time, and I can build in provisions either in a will or a trust for pets, and I've done that several times. The biggest question, you know, is who's going to take care of Bentley if something happened, God forbid, to you. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you have some people in mind, and maybe even have like a first choice and a second choice and things like that.
A hierarchy.
Hierarchy, and that's good because you never know if something happens to one of those people.
Yeah.
But I build those kind of provisions into the document, and that's really the first thing. The second thing, you know, that sometimes people, I mean, and we can make this as elaborate as you want, but sometimes people, you know, they have multiple pets, and they want to make sure that all the pets go together, you know, and so only a few people can probably handle that. Yeah. But we can build that in. If you've got multiple pets, we can also build in provisions that say, okay, should I allow a little bit of money to take care of Bentley, you know, because Bentley has vet bills and food and just other things, grooming and things like that, to at least take care of him for a period of time. Right. And so that'll be helpful until they get used to Bentley and what he needs.
So you can really customize anything, you know, you can be as detailed or as vague as possible. Okay.
In fact, in Arizona, there is now something called a pet trust. So you can build a whole trust that's just designed for an animal like Bentley. And if you do that, then you can get even more specifics about exactly how you take care of Bentley. We can include the pet provisions, I'll call them, in a will or a trust, however you want to set that up, and we can really make that as elaborate as you want.
And I think that's one of the things too that kind of, at least for me, like has kind of deterred me from putting together something like this. It feels a little daunting, and I'm like, what is something that I should put in there or shouldn't put in there? You know, I own a home and a car, and those are the kinds of things that I assume would have their own you know, document drawn up. But what about, you know, other kind of miscellaneous things, maybe some antiques in my home, or
that's a great
other randoms. I have a lot of stuff.
That's a great question. I mean, now and I kind of walk through the whole thing.
Okay.
And when we do the initial meeting, one of the things we do is I kind of have an asset list of kind of what is the stuff that you currently own, what are your assets, so that I know exactly kind of how we need to draft it. Okay. But the house, you know, any accounts, you know, any stuff, anything in the house, the cars, you know, any pets and things like that. All of that is included in the overall plan, and I kind of just walk you through. Okay, let's talk about each of these documents. What questions do we need to answer so I can draft them the way you want them to? Yeah, it's really customizable to exactly what your situation is.
Right, you know, and that changes too, right?
And it does change.
Yeah,
which brings up another point, which is, you know, how, you know, once you get this thing set up, you know, it's a big, you know, sigh of relief, and okay, we got it set up, and have a good peace of mind. But things change. So about every 3 to 5 years, I recommend you do a review. Okay, is everything still the way I want it to be? You know, do I have, you know, another dog now besides Bentley? Do I need to kind of deal with that? Or do I, you know, have a new account, a new investment account, or you know, a new 401k or something like that? How do I deal with that? How does that fit into the whole plan? Yeah. So it's kind of a moving, you know, a progressive process,
which kind of follows the evolution of a person's life, right? You know, if you get married, have kids.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you ever got married, then obviously there'd be other documents we need to put into place.
Just add or take away as needed.
Yeah. Right. Cool. If you have a will, say, and you don't have a trust, there are some other things that other ways you can pass assets along. Like for instance, that you may have life insurance, whether it's through work or independently, you know, and there's a beneficiary on the life insurance. Okay, and that beneficiary you can name, you know, somebody else in your life to inherit that life insurance policy. And then the other thing you can also think about is there are, like, for your house, there is something called a beneficiary deed. Beneficiary deed is like a beneficiary for your home. So if something happened to me, my house goes to, to this person.
Yeah.
And it might be, one of your family members, it might be a friend or something like
Cool.
that. But
Yeah.
you can do that, and it goes automatically and avoids probate.
Wow.
Or you can also do, the other types of payable on death beneficiaries. And those payable on death beneficiary forms will help pass those assets on to the people that you want it to very smoothly.
Yeah.
And avoid probate. So,
Yeah.
and we can kind of, depending on what your assets are, including Bentley, we can go through all of that.
This is really enlightening for me. I've never had a conversation like this, so I hope that this maybe inspires or illuminates some things for other people.